We have $278 million being allocated to the program through to 2014, and we have $82 million a year thereafter, specifically to address that vital gap in the marketplace that sits between invention and successful commercialisation through business development. And by intervening at that point, we provide a lifeline, if you will, for companies to transition from that inventive stage through to commercial operation, at which point the marketplace can take over. A lot of what's happened in the past is the intellectual property just goes nowhere. It doesn't go here, it doesn't stay here, it doesn't go overseas, it goes nowhere. And what we want is a return on our inventiveness. We're a very inventive society. We've had difficulty because of our financial markets and our relative scale in getting some of these businesses into the marketplace. So the first and foremost, the objective is to get airtime for these opportunities. In terms of whether it stays in Australia or not, there's two issues. One is everyone has to realise Australia is about 2% of the world market. So if we're going to be successful in commercialising IP, obviously we're going to be successful selling it outside of Australia as well. To sell into major markets, you have to be in those major markets. So there's nothing wrong in principle with companies going offshore and operating offshore. What we do want to do is maintain the smarts. We want to keep the smarts and the know-how in Australia and make sure that we're getting the benefit of generating more and more successful businesses with back-end intelligence that then spawns more opportunities. So it's about achieving that balance, but not forgetting that there is a big world out there and we need to penetrate it with our inventions. Now, critically, what the case manager doesn't do is sit there like Mr. Know-it-all and tell them what to do. That's not the point of the case manager. Their role is to assist in accelerating the entrepreneurial process. And the entrepreneurial process is really about getting to the right people at the right time. Case managers have their own networks. They've built businesses themselves. There's a good chance they'll have an angle, an insight, a perspective that the participant doesn't have, and they can add value in that way. But it's very much a collaborative relationship. They sit together, they work out what does that company need, and the case manager looks to assist in a non-executive capacity as much as he can. We've got 22 case managers around the country, and they are motivated to work with each other to help participants. That networking effect is critical to accelerating entrepreneurism, because it's all about getting to the right people at the right time. Now, that has never existed within a government program before, that you use a matrix structure to add value to participants in a program. So the money's very important, but that sort of help can, in fact, be equally, if not more important. So it's a huge part of the program, the mechanism by which we use the case managers. And on top of that, we're developing what's called the Volunteer Business Mentor Network. And that network is designed to attract people who have been there and done that. They've built a business commercialising IP. People who have particular domain expertise. They might be scientific experts, they might be market experts, and professional investors. And we're bringing them all together into a database. And that database is being made available to the case managers. So the whole emphasis of the program is on building value-adding networks that can be brought to bear to the benefit of participants in the program. So they get money, they get a case manager, and they get a systematic networking effect that we bring to their benefit. And finally, we use the machinery of government and the media power of government to publicise their success, which of course helps them in the marketplace even more. So there's a lot of benefit to participants in getting into this program, and we're already seeing a lot of that benefit in terms of some of the early results we're getting from some of the first companies that have been invested in. So it's a good news story all around.